Benjamin is speaking his vows while the bride, Helena, is lost in deep thoughts. Everyone around them is emotional, but her expression shows anger toward the groom. Suddenly, she snaps out of her thoughts as Benjamin hands her the paper, telling her it's her turn to read her vows. But in her mind, Helena whispers, "I'm going to be the one who brings you down." So how did things end up like this? Let's rewind to 1 month ago in the Imperial Palace. There, Helena was playing chess with her childhood friend, Rufus, who just so happens to be the crown prince of the empire. They were casually chatting about marriage. Helena confessed that she didn't want to get married, especially if her fate turned out like her mother, Sandra, who had abandoned her. Why Sandra left, we don't know yet, but we'll find out later. Rufus admitted he felt the same way, saying marriage is like a luxurious seal that gives security to families and citizens. But Helena strongly disagreed, pointing out how different they were in gender and status. Rufus just laughed, finding her stubbornness cute. Then, in that moment, Rufus couldn't control himself. He kissed Helena's hand and confessed his love. Helena was shocked, frozen, unable to react. But that romantic moment was destroyed instantly when Rufus's fiancée, Adela, appeared. I was like, wait, he has a fiancée? Totally unexpected. Helena and Rufus were both in shock. Adela stood there heartbroken, and Rufus's mother, the Empress Clarissa, also arrived. Before Helena could say a word, Rufus boldly declared, "I don't want to marry Adela. I love Helena." Adela burst into tears, and honestly, I felt bad for her. Soon after, the Empress called Helena privately. I thought she might punish her, but instead she apologized for the situation. Surprisingly, she accepted Helena, but rumors about her and Rufus had already spread across the empire. To protect Helena and the royal reputation, the Empress set a condition. Helena must marry a man of her choosing. At first, Helena was against it, but then the Empress explained that this wasn't punishment, it was a mission. She told Helena about a dangerous group threatening the empire's peace, connected to Count Benjamin Ischpern, a man with a notorious reputation. To uncover his secrets, Helena was asked to marry him and get close to him. The Empress promised that if Helena succeeded, she'd be celebrated as a great hero of the empire. And Helena, dreaming of recognition, accepted. She didn't see it as punishment anymore, but as an opportunity. And so this dangerous mission began. The day of the wedding eve party arrived. Helena was getting ready, lost in thoughts about why Benjamin agreed to this marriage so easily. Something about him felt off. Her maid fussed over her with jewelry and makeup, but Helena refused, saying, "I'm already pretty without all these things, you know?" Honestly, she wasn't wrong. Later, while chatting with her half-siblings, her maid rushed in, excitedly announcing that Count Ischpern had arrived. Blushing, the maid described him as ridiculously handsome. Helena suddenly panicked. No way she was going out looking plain. Now she had to compete with his charm. And when she finally saw him, yeah, he was truly handsome. Helena was flustered but tried to act unaffected. When he asked her for a dance, she swore she wouldn't be fooled by his looks. But deep down, she was mesmerized. After the dance, she rested and started questioning everything. How could this man be a threat to the empire? If he really is, then I'll change him. She was already falling for him. But her dreamy thoughts shattered when she overheard Benjamin talking to his knight. Instead of praise, he mocked her, saying this marriage was just for money. He called her a typical decadent noblewoman, pathetic and disgusting. His plan? Take the dowry and leave her empty-handed. Helena was shocked and furious. She had just started to like him, and now regret flooded in. This isn't romance anymore, this is war. That night on the balcony, Helena suddenly heard a noise. At first, she thought it was a ghost, but it was Rufus. He came to apologize, but also begged her to run away with him. For a second, she considered it. But then, memories of all the chaos he caused came rushing back, and she refused. Benjamin showed up right after, suspicious of her meeting with the prince. When Rufus leapt from the balcony, Benjamin accused her of disgrace and warned her to conduct herself properly from now on. Helena felt angry, betrayed, and emotional, realizing he was planning to use her dowry and discard her. Finally, the wedding day came. Helena looked furious, but determined. Her only goal now was to uncover Benjamin's secrets. As they traveled to his home using the magic gate, Benjamin warned her to stay focused. Helena, overconfident, said she already was, but ended up throwing up after the journey. And then they arrived at Castle Ischpern, a creepy, ghost-like place. Helena stood in shock while Benjamin smirked and said, "Welcome to Castle Ischpern." And that's when her real nightmare began.